Now that we are starting to ramp up building the roofing academy, we always have to ask ourselves, now, exactly what problem are we trying to solve? And because it's a roofing academy and there's a teaching component involved, and a large part of it is a teaching component, one of the questions that we need to ask ourselves is this. And that question is, how intelligent is the average roofer? And maybe that's not quite the right question, because we're talking about average here. And we're not targeting the average roofer. In fact, we're targeting the above average roofer, because average is this thing called a bell curve, and it goes like that, right? So everything that's average falls in that band. And that's below average, that's above average. So what we're looking for is the above average. So we're looking at that section there, that section of roofers. And the question now is, how intelligent is the above average roofer? Compared to who? Compared to the ordinary office worker, a manager? How intelligent are they? Because teachers like to teach intelligent pupils, because obviously they think it's easier to teach someone who's smart than someone who just purely cannot learn. So what is intelligence? If you know a little bit about AI and artificial intelligence and the large language models, which is taking over the tech scene by storm in the last 6 months. Now, ChatGPT 4 and everything below it, all it does is that it goes and it predicts. Now, this is what ChatGPT 4 does. All it does is it predicts the next word. It's not like it knows everything. It puts one word after another and it just predicts the next word. And that's termed as intelligence. So from a roofer's point of view, if you were to go and look at a roofer and you go, well, how smart is he? How intelligent is he? The difference between a smart roofer and a not so smart roofer is almost the same thing. It's how do they predict the next, it's not the next word now, it's how do they predict the next thing that has to be done to achieve the desired result on a roof. To judge how intelligent a roofer is, all you in theory need to do is you give him something to do and see how he performs it. In other words, he starts somewhere with a problem or a challenge, and you see what he does to actually achieve an end result. And what happens is that it's one step at a time. So it's like ChatGPT 4 predicts the next word. The smart roofer, or intelligent roofer, will predict ahead of what's happening. So he would start a job, for instance. Then he knows that he can't do the job without the right tools, and he can't do it without the right materials. So the next step could be, have I got the right tools? Then, have I got the right materials? And the next step after that to predict the end result is, have I got a knowledge? Have I got skills to actually get the job done? So as we build the Roofing Academy, our focus is on teaching the roofer how to predict the next step, because they start off beginning of the day or the beginning of a job. They need to know with some certainty what the end result is going to be, and then they got to have some sort of a predictive thought pattern that goes, I need to do that, so I predict that I've got to do this. So it's one step at a time, much like ChatGPT does with how they predict the next word based on what has preceded and what the question is. Because you would ask ChatGPT a question, a prompt, and based on that prompt, they start a sentence. And the sentence is one word at a time, and then they pick the next word. So if you were to use ChatGPT 4 or any of the large language models, you'll see that it goes there, and then the next word is like it's thinking, and then the word just keeps following itself. And then when it's all finished, you've got the answer. So I don't know what you think about our thought pattern here at the Roofing Portal, but as we build the Roofing Academy, we're going to be focusing on the fact that all we need to do is to show the roofers that we are teaching how to predict the next step. Because if we can arm them with the tools so that they can predict the next step, then it's just like ChatGPT-4 with all the knowledge in the world, and all they're trying to do is predict the next word. And that's super intelligence, or well, not quite, it's artificial intelligence. And we're talking about roofer intelligence here. And for the roofer, whether they're above average and maybe even if they're not above average, if we arm them with the data and then we teach them with an algorithm how to predict the next word or the next step, then maybe we can make it stick. And then we could have roofers that are more intelligent than the bulk of the population. How about that?